What's up, guys? In this video, I want to talk to you about the 50 open drill. Now, I have used the 50 open drill. I will try and do it every single night that I go out for a night of pickup, because I've noticed that if I don't do this, my night, like, this is one of those things where if you do this, you'll have a good night. And if you don't do it, you won't have a good night. So I highly recommend that you start integrating this when you go out and you do your pickup sessions, or when you go to a party, anytime when you're out and you don't know a lot of people. And the purpose of you going there is to socialize. Maybe you go to a party, a house party, a dinner party, a nightclub, a bar, a barbecue, anything. You always want to go around and do this 50 open drill. Now, to be fair, I didn't make up this drill. This is not my invention. I'm not an expert in this, other than having done it, several times after going out. This is something that I first heard about from RSD Luke. So credit to RSD Luke. Go check out his channel, subscribe to him, do, all the stuff that he wants you to do. Just want to give credit where it's due. Now, the 50 open drill, basically what do? Is you go, when you go out, you want to open 50 people, okay? They can be guys, they can be girls, they can be people who work at the venue, they can be literally anybody, people in the line to get into the venue. It actually does not matter. And the point of doing the 50 open drill is not to get into any good conversations with people. The point is to, well, there's a few key things here. Number one is to get you loosened up, right? I'm sure any of you who have gone out for a night of pickup, you've experienced the hell that is going out and being in the venue for hours and not approaching anybody and not talking to anybody and hating yourself for not trying, right? That is literally the worst feeling. It's very bad. There's few feelings that are worse than that. So that is one of the main reasons to start doing it, is that if you imagine two scenarios. You go into the club and you start looking around. You're like, should I approach them? No, they're not looking at me. Or what about them? No, it's probably your boyfriend, right? You start making up all these excuses. And what happens is you get into the habit of making excuses for that night. And at the end of the night, you end up leaving. Maybe you haven't really done any approaches. Maybe you've done a couple and you just kind of hate yourself as a result. Or let's say you go into the club and right away you talk to this guy in line. Hey, and it could be literally anything. Oh man, cool shoes. Oh man, I had those exact same shoes last year, the best shoes I ever had, and I ended up throwing them away because my dog ate them. I don't know, whatever, make some shit up. Doesn't actually matter. And the point of the 50 open drill is not, like I said, to get into a good conversation with this guy about his shoes or whatever, is to just say something, right? You said something to him, you said something to her, you said something to this guy, and to literally stay in the interaction for less than 15 seconds. It's literally say something to them, say have a good night, and then move on to the next one. You don't want to stay in set for very long, if possible, because you want to finish with the drill. Now, what ends up happening is that after doing this, 15, 20 times, you'll notice that maybe the venue isn't big enough for you to do 50 opens. Maybe one of the sets that you did earlier, let's say you opened a couple girls and you said something to them and they totally lit up and they're like, oh my God, yeah, thank you for saying my hair looks good tonight. Wow, you're so nice. Where are you from? Right? And they start talking to you. And let's say you jump out of the set because you're thinking, I got to do this drill. I got to do this drill. Later on, after you've done maybe 20 or 15 or 10 or 40, you'll think to yourself, you'll see that set again and you can reopen them. And they're still excited to talk to you and happy to talk to you. And you don't really need to do the rest of the sets, right? So that's the second thing that's good about the 50 open drill, is that it allows you to kind of touch all of these people and filter for the ones who are most interested in talking to you that night, if that's what your goal is. Another benefit of this is that it allows you, if you're at, let's say you're doing a club game, you're at a club. I'm a big fan of clubs because they offer anonymity. And you can go out every night and make a fool of yourself and nobody will really know in most cities. So it'll allow you to meet the staff, right? So you say something to the security guy, the bartender, the cocktail waitress, the DJ maybe. And the people who are in the venue will see you talking to all of the staff members. So they're going to think, what's one of the biggest triggers of attraction is knowing that the other person is well liked by people, right? It's called social proof. So when you go out and girls see you talking to lots of people who are like at the venue that have authority in the venue, and they're laughing, you're joking with them, maybe you throw them some compliment or something like that, or you say, to the security guys at clubs always look bored. They always look bored and like they like hate their job. So you say like, hey man, how late are you working tonight? Oh man, I got 6 more hours. You say, oh man, that's rough. I used to do security at a club in blah, blah, Texas or something. I feel your pain, man. And then you give them like the pound, right? Other people will see that because everybody's always looking around to see like what everyone else is doing. People don't actually like have fun at a club when they go out most of the time. They're always just kind of like looking around in this like hyper-focused state. So they'll see you, one of the few people arguably who's like actually there, like having a good time, genuinely talking to some authority figure in the club, and it'll seem like you're, a cool person basically. So then when you make your rounds and you finally open them, they'll have this memory in their mind of you opening lots of people, maybe not just the person, the security people or the bartender or whatever. And they'll think, oh wow, this cool person who knows everybody and who everybody likes is coming to talk to me, and they'll be more receptive to you. Okay, so if we think of pickup as a numbers game, which some people say it is, some people say it isn't, it's kind of a numbers game and it isn't, because there are some things that you can learn to improve your chances. But if it is a numbers game, even in like assuming the fact that there are some things you can do to improve your chances, it still really is a numbers game at the end of the day. And if you do 30 opens in a night, it's more likely that one of those will go well, even if you're terrible, even if you're like god awful, you're like super bad social skills and you smell bad and you have bad breath. It's much more likely that one of those will actually go well and you'll end up having a good night. Okay, so if you want to have good nights that are fun, where you have a high probability of success, even if that success is just having good conversations throughout the night and getting people's social media and getting some numbers, or whatever you define success to be for that night, I highly recommend the 50 open drill, especially when you're first starting out. So do you guys have any questions about that? If you do, let me know. Have you ever tried the 50 open drill? What has your experience been? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Let me know. Leave me a comment. Peace.